Aloha, all you millennial heartbroken mother fathers. Welcome in another episode of the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, broadcast all across all the different social media and ways you get your entertainment and podcasts, whether it be over the video or audio, of course. Kyle Cornell, AA Anthony Alford with you. As always, in a very somber
Oh, we're grieving?
post-elimination chamber.
We're grieving? I'm celebrating. I'm happy.
You said you're crying. I'm not crying.
I'm celebrating.
Tears
I'm
of
happy.
joy or tears of...
I'm happy I was wrong. I am so glad CM Punk did not turn heel. He did not sell. Like, I was just sitting there like, man, listen. That's my guy. He doesn't need to turn. He is the best pure babyface. Like, and man, they actually did it. They actually did it.
It's honestly wild, and I don't think we need to kind of waste any more time. But obviously, the sweet moment of this week, presented by our friends over at BA Sweeties, is the moment that finally happened. You never changed the
Oh my goodness!
title.
What am I doing?
It razzled AA so much he forgot to actually change it. That's good.
So
But he's got to copy and paste it now into the next slide.
you get to see
Yeah.
the work of art.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
Oh, my God. See, we like breaking the fourth wall. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, and then
put
he's
it
going
back.
to make it bigger. And there you go. Yeah. It happened. It's been talked about literally for over a decade. People were saying, like, since he first turned face back in like 2005 or 6 or whatever it was, they've been 2010, but really like 2012, 2013, The Rock, that first go around, there were a lot of calls for Cena to flip, and just never did it. There were plans. The popular clip now is Chris Van Vliet's podcast where he had him on. They talked about the new gear, music, all that stuff, whatever it was, and they almost pulled the trigger but didn't. But they finally did. John Cena is officially a bad guy in WWE.
Well, let's talk about it here real quick. Let's just talk. We're going to break a lot of things down. We're going to have video that we're going to play for you going back to the Royal Rumble that really put it all together. But let's just talk about how it all played out. First off, the mainstream side of things. First Take talked about it. The Daily Show had it. A lot of other platforms talked about, like, this is John Cena. Like,
Yeah.
how did he pull this off? We watched the show together this past Saturday, and I think as much as we talk about the heel turn itself, until this is John Cena we're talking about, 20 years, until you actually see it. Until you actually, like, see it play out. Like, I'll never forget, and I told Kyle this, I told everyone on social media, as long as I live, I will never forget those eyes from Cena. In that hug, you see it right above me, those eyes, the moment that he locked in with The Rock, I will never forget that moment. And it's just surreal that after all this time, we know about the retirement tour. We know this is it. Cena could have walked in, coasted his way through. He and the team at WWE, Triple H, The Rock, Nick Khan, they all said, let's do this. And Kyle, they're doing it.
I mean, this was all you mentioned the face too. John Cena is a walking meme. I think I said that to Mike the other day too with us when we were on a call talking with him. Our State Farm agent and hopefully yours someday soon as well. But I mean, this was unbelievable. We were sitting, we were watching it. First off, Cody telling The Rock to go fuck himself on live on Peacock. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
That popped us. It popped me for sure. I was like, holy shit! I can't believe he said that. And then, Cena in the background doing the typical Cena thing, losing his mind. Oh my God, that's fucking great. And then dapping him up. And then the look, you see it. The Rock with the throat slice. I mean, it's cinema, man. That's what it's all come down to. It's cinema. People are tying it back to Bad Blood when he did this and he had the this
3.
thing. It led me to think that this whole thing, and we're going to play a clip in a minute from John post Royal Rumble, where he obviously talked about calling the shots, so to speak.
And pay attention to every word he says, too, when we play that clip in a couple moments here.
But I truly think John Cena actually turned heel. But remember, he hasn't been on TV. I think he actually turned heel when he announced his retirement tour. because that was very un-John Cena-like. John Cena is not the kind of guy to say, yeah, that's it for me. I'm not going to do it anymore. But I'm going to show up to your city one more time. I'm going to do this whole thing. I'm going to make all this about me. I think in that moment, he subtly actually turned and nobody paid attention. They were just like, oh my God, we're going to get a full year of John. He's going to work 30-some dates. This is going to be great. We talked about that. We didn't even fucking realize it. But in that moment, he did something he has never done, at least not publicly, throughout his entire career. He made all this about him.
And I think that's a good way to segue into this clip that we're going to play here from John Cena. We have seen the 30-second part of this where he's pretty much said it's my obligation after 23 years of loyal service to WWE, he needs the main event. I want all of you to pay attention to all the words that led up to him saying that, because that's just as important, if not more important, than what he concluded with in this clip. It's 3 minutes, but pay attention to every word that's said in this clip. This is from WWE, his Royal Rumble press conference. He did not take questions in this presser. So this is the entire presser, 3 minutes. Pay attention to every word that's said here from John Cena.
I would like to do something different tonight. I'd like to play a little game. It's called Who Can Get the Headline Out Fast Enough. So I'll be fielding no questions and trying to do my best to make a statement moving forward. In the 23 years I've been in this business, I know there are different perspectives about my path, but my truth is I've never used my opportunities for a spot that I haven't earned. Tonight was special for many reasons, but it has begun to sink in that it was my last Royal Rumble. And that Las Vegas, in looking at the sign when it was down to 2, and I had a moment to let the energy sink in, I realized that Las Vegas is my last WrestleMania. The last time I main evented a WrestleMania was 2013. That's a long time ago. The reason that hasn't been at the forefront in my mind, I've been a gimmick, I've been the first match, I've been in the middle, I've shared beers with the fans, because my truth, my perspective is I've always done what's best for business. Tonight, standing in that ring, I wanted this experience to be a tour of goodwill. I've openly admitted I don't know how much I have left in the tank, and I just wanted to do something that would be nice for all of us to get together and have a good time. Unfortunately tonight, it dawned on me that that's not best for business. What is best for business is I main event WrestleMania. And what is best for business is, for the first time, I confidently say that I'm gonna win a 17th championship. So I'm announcing tonight that I will compete in the Elimination Chamber. And I'm saying that because after 23 years of loyal service to this company, I feel that opportunity is earned. And yes, I'm flying back to Hungary to film a movie, so what I'm going to do is give my 5 other opponents 1 month to slander my name and bolster their self-confidence the best that I can. I told Toronto when I announced my retirement that I was grateful for the city and I would be back. And I would be back to kick ass. It is time to walk that talk and be who I say I am. I am going to the Elimination Chamber to win, and I'm going to main event my final appearance in WrestleMania and win a 17th championship, because that's what's best for business. And I say that because it is not best for my ego. It is not best for my business. I have built my existence here off of hard work, loyalty to this company, and respect for all of its branches. I will win 17 not for me. I will win 17 to someday shake the hand of the person who wins 18. Thank you very much.
I think playing that clip, and we all said after the Royal Rumble, oh, that's cool. That was it. Literally, that's all we said. Like, oh, that's cool.
I thought it was a great promo.
It was great. Like, as far as like, oh, how would you evaluate it? It was great. But we all said, oh, that's cool.
We
Hopefully
still didn't know for sure. Like,
yeah.
hey, is he really gonna? I mean, is it really in the plan? I don't know if Cody and Cena is really a thing. Like, it feels like it's missing something.
But I want to reference back to what he said near the beginning of that clip. He mentioned his WrestleMania record since 2013. The last time he main evented was against The Rock and WrestleMania 29.
Yeah.
Remember, so Cena has referenced this in the past. The last time, and I'll pull it up here because I sent it to you so I can remember, Kyle. So the last time Cena has won a singles match, and this article was probably from earlier in the year, but we're well over 2,000 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in this article from Yahoo, 2,452 days.
It's like 5-6 years since he won a one-on-one singles match. Obviously, he won the Elimination Chamber, but it's not technically a one-on-one
Right,
match.
since he's won a singles match. So you have to go back to 2018, the greatest war, one of the Saudi Arabia events.
And the last time he won a significant one-on-one match for a championship was 8 years ago, now 9 years ago against AJ Styles at Royal Rumble.
Right. So
that was when he won 16.
You think about, you're 100% right. So you think about all the history there. Remember, this is the same John Cena. GOAT, greatest of all time. He had to beg The Undertaker, in storyline terms, he had to beg The Undertaker to fight him. Can you imagine Tom Brady having to beg Patrick Mahomes to face him? Tom Brady begging some of the greatest superstars in the NFL to face him? The Tom Brady of professional wrestling, John Cena, had to beg to be on the card. And for the last 8-9 years, he's done what's best for business. Tom Brady, John Cena, needed to ensure that he was going to win the chamber and ensure that he was going to main event WrestleMania. I mean, even think back to the chamber itself. And we're going to talk about Punk and Rollins a little bit later. But think back to when Seth Rollins delivered the stomp to CM Punk. You remember exactly what happened right after, right? Old Cena, would have never aggressively pulled Punk back into the ring and ended the match.
Now he did still. It's the brilliance of the mental of Cena, right? When he's got him and he's choking him out in the STF, which he actually locked in hard, like a full-on sleeper with his leg hooked. He's apologizing to Punk because I think even despite Cena turning, he still has respect for Punk and what he's done in his own career. But yeah, he jumped on that shit. Normally he would have been more shocked. He would have been like, "What's going on?" But it was, and in the moment you're thinking he's apologizing, but he knows this is his only chance to get to this spot. So in our head, you're still justifying it. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20, but in the moment, we're thinking, okay, I mean that makes sense. He's got to get there. He's got to get it done. This is the only way. Because if Cena's not going to face Cody at WrestleMania, he's getting fucking Logan Paul. So it needs to be.
Well,
this
now
needs to be the thing.
Thinking about how Cena would have reacted in the past, even though Seth Rollins was technically out of the match, he probably would have attacked Seth Rollins.
I don't think he would have done it. I think he would have just like been in shock.
Or would have been in shock, would have did nothing, but it's like, whoa.
Would have took his
the
time.
The way that
yeah.
he aggressively.
It
went
was almost
after
instant.
Punk.
It was almost instant.
It was instant.
Yeah.
It was spot on there. So you think about that moment. And then Cena wins the match. He gets the insurance. We said on this show, I know Rebecca got on my case for not really properly entertaining a Cody heel turn.
You had to bring it up or you're going to get in trouble again.
It wasn't happening. I'm sorry. she went back. She was like, wait a minute. Cody could have had this matchup, could have had that matchup. Cody's not there yet in his career. This entire build is for Cody to be the greatest babyface, one of the greatest babyfaces in WWE history.
And they needed someone for Cena to do this to really be a true mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Because who else in WWE right now is on that level?
Mm-hmm.
Jay's not there. Just because he's over as he is, he's not on that level of Cody because he hasn't even won a championship yet.
Yeah.
He hasn't been put in that position to be that top guy. Jay's doing better in his role, and I think he's starting to perform better, but it's not him. There's nobody else. It had to be Cody.
before the turn happened, before this hug, was you excited for Cody and Cena as what we would have expected to be a babyface versus babyface main event?
Yeah, I think it could work.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the story itself of Cena winning 17 is big enough that you didn't have to turn him.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been a year-long thing where it's Chase, man. And obviously that puts the Royal Rumble in 2026 maybe where hey, Cena had to relinquish the title because he ended the year finally as champion. The winner of the Rumble becomes champion. That could have been a huge thing. Cody could have been involved. Rock could have been involved. Obviously Roman, those guys. That could have put a little extra, on that Rumble. But other plans become other plans. The match itself, I don't remember the last time we saw it. It probably was during Cody's last run with WWE.
Probably.
When he was Mustache Cody or whatever it was. So it's been probably a decade plus since they've been in the ring together.
I knew Stardust was a main eventer.
Yeah, right. Cody had mentioned it had been one of his things to get Cena in a match.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if you're the champion, that's an easy way to get Cena's attention, to be able to do this. So the match itself didn't need this. I wonder how long this is going to last. Because WWE is forfeiting a lot. Because when Cena goes heel, he's mentioned this before. I'm pulling the merchandise. We're not doing this. We're not doing Make-A-Wishes anymore. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
This is.
I believe Break-A-Wish is now trademarked.
Yeah.
By WWE.
Well, Make-A-Wish is still a thing, and that's because CM Punk decided to cut the promo of his life, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But the moment.
Mm-hmm.
500 million views on social media in 2 days, that kind of stuff. They did it for the moment. I don't see Cena ending the year as a heel. I just don't, because money-wise, it's going to cost WWE too much.
Well,
they'll still sell gates. They'll still sell out arenas. That's not going to be a problem. It wasn't a problem beforehand.
I'll put it you this way. I'm not ready yet to talk about how the year's going to end. I think what this is done to this point is I can't wait to see what's next right now.
He built this. Cena as a heel opens the door to some of those nostalgia matches. And as a champion, as a heel champion, somebody like Randy, somebody like Punk, those doors have been reopened.
Punk talked himself into a SummerSlam main event. He talked himself into it. We're going to talk more about this and what this means and how it impacts the rest of the roster. I think everyone did a great job. We had the final image, including Travis Scott, but it's we got to.
Wish we didn't see Travis Scott when he fucking potatoed Cody. My God.
Man, he got tagged.
What's the consensus for most people when they talked about that? I hope Cody beat the fuck out of Travis Scott in the back when they got back there, because his receipt's going to be rough, dude.
Man.
My God. Burst his eardrum.
I'll tell you.
He hit the fuck out of him, too.
Yeah, he did.
My God. Dude.
Yeah, he did.
He needs more training. Jesus Christ.
You see the clip backstage? I think it came out a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Travis Scott was like,
man, Triple H. That was fucking cool, man.
Yeah, man.
You better perform it, man.
We got to do more. Man, listen.
Because you hit somebody, bro.
You almost got.
You ain't got hit yet. Yeah, wait. Hold on. Keep fucking training.
Yeah.
And then, have a deal with Cody in the ring, because you know he's going to give you one back.
Matter of fact.
You killed a man at your show. You know you're going to get some.
We're going to give you the Braun Breaker treatment. We're going to give you the speed treatment. Take a spear from Braun Breaker and tell me if you want in on this.
So we have to obviously play the ad from Sweeties here in a moment, because, why not? It's a fantastic place with so many different options, and we're getting towards their Super Bowl, their WrestleMania with Easter just around the corner here, just a handful of weeks, 6-7 weeks away, whatever it is. But I have an interesting take on all this to bring back another big name to make WrestleMania 41 even bigger. He happens to live just 400 miles now from Allegiant Stadium, and he may be a bigger star than anyone in this match. So I am involved in this match. So there's an avenue towards this. I want to bring that up on the other side.
BA Sweeties checked them out. Well, I was there. Check it out. Get some great candy.
I was there, man.
I would have brought it all in, but it's gone now. Ate it. But
selfish son of a bitch.
I'll take care of the crew next time. My bad, y'all. But you take care of yourselves. Watch everything that BA Sweeties has to offer for you. The largest candy store in North America, 75 years, locally owned, right here. We don't mention this every week, but locally produced popcorn, loads of options
Campbell's.
in terms of popcorn from Campbell's. Got the factory right down the road from our studios in Strongsville. A lot of good stuff at BA Sweeties.
I want popcorn now.
Yeah, not even joking. They actually have, for those of you who are inclined in relationship, whatnot, strawberry chocolate covered popcorn. No joke.
Really?
No joke.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Caught that when I went.
Shit.
A lot of good stuff there. BA Sweeties, Interstate 480 to Ridge Road exit. Make a left on Brook Park Road. You'll see the giant lollipop. And the next time your favorite superstar turns heel, you'll have BA Sweeties as a candy of choice ready to go,
Dude.
along with loads of pops and sodas.
12-year-old me would eat the entire store right now. It'd be so sad. Honestly, even adult me was kind of like...
You know the sad thing? 33-year-old me ate the entire store.
Honestly, man, like, yeah, this whole thing with Cena, it's just...
Later in the show, we're not going to do it now, but later in the show, was this the greatest heel turn ever in pro wrestling history?
Well,
we do have to have that discussion.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest heel turns ever. We'll have that discussion coming up later in the show. I do want to talk more about the heel turn itself and the impact on the rest of the roster. One of the things that Cena mentioned in that press conference we played earlier was that, yeah, I need this best for the company, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to film a movie, and I'm going to give the rest of the roster a month to slander my name.
He's doing it again. Like, he's gone. He went to Africa to film more or whatever it is. Like, he's out. And we joked, honestly, to the show, he might not fucking... I mean, he's scheduled to be at those shows, but he was also scheduled to work 30-some dates. Heel Cena's not working 30 dates. That could all have been bullshit. Honestly. This whole thing could have been bullshit. I don't know anymore. And don't act like you do either, because we have no fucking clue what he's going to do with this. He went to the press conference after the show, dropped the fucking mic. That's all he did.
Can you imagine?
And he walked the fuck out.
To tell you how hot WWE is, The Rock, John Cena, and Cody Rhodes, you pulled off the biggest angle, one of the biggest angles in company history. The three main components of that story, not on Raw. Now, I know Cody's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow night, and we'll get his initial reaction. Cena's not going to be on Raw for another 2 weeks.
They wanted to build the social on this. They want to say it's a 1 billion view clip. And by this point, you guys are watching this Thursday morning. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
It could be very close to that, if not already superseded
that's
it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
they want that number.
This shows how hot WWE is as a roster. I love what they did on Monday in terms of it seemed like every 15 or 20 minutes, a new version of the clip, more reaction from the roster. And it all started with CM Punk on Monday. And it started actually throughout this entire build. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. You're the GOAT. How do you just get a spot in this match?
Never going to get fooled again. He pulled the George W. Bush. You fooled me once, shame on me. You fooled me twice, you can't get fooled again. Like, he just, it was the promo was great. We'll talk about that in a minute. The bigger thing with the roster, with this, Cody's not going to have a platoon of people to come to his aid this time.
I'm sipping on water, but you get my point.
He's not. Like, because this is not the bloodline we're talking about. People hated Roman. The Rock was involved, but Roman was the real centerpiece of that story we talked about, the son of the bloodline story. This is not about the bloodline. This is about The Rock and his control over the entire company. Sami Zayn's not showing up. Jey Uso has his own world title match to worry about.
Not jeopardizing that opportunity.
But it opens the door for something everybody wants to see. We're in this is the year of nostalgia in WWE.
I have an idea where you're going with this. We'll see.
This opens the door for Stone Cold to show up at 41 and have the stare down, maybe for the last time with The Rock, ever. because I don't know how often these two are going to be in the same vicinity as each other anymore. To have, and this is huge for Cody, but to have Cena, Rock, and Stone Cold in a physical capacity be in the same building together, that is the biggest thing you can do right now. And Cody, on top of that, being the guy, being that current, person that is hopeful to be on that Mount Rushmore one day. He's in that position right now as the face of WWE, as the guy in WWE. He is the person. I mean, that's the 4 biggest names in the world you could have in the middle of that ring right there.
Is this enough? Look, if that happens, I'm not sure if it will happen.
He lives in fucking Reno.
But then again, if you can go back to the tape, go back. Did we see the Avengers ending coming until like the week before the show?
I'm just saying, man.
Mm-hmm. With that match,
this is a thing because now Stone Cold, he obviously still has, I think, his ranch in Texas, but he lives most of the time in Nevada. He lives in Reno. He made the joke. I can hop in the hell, son. I can hop in the buggy and be there in a couple hours. Fucking shoot back the same night. Damn. Crack a few beers. What? Show up. What? Stun a few sons of bitches. What? Then fucking leave. Like he could do it. I mean, and that would be epic to have those 4, and particularly those 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think we saw Hogan, Rock, and Stone Cold in a ring together for WrestleMania 30. I think it was in New Orleans.
Yeah, the Silverdome.
Yeah, at the Silverdome.
Mm-hmm.
This is an opportunity again where Stone Cold's in great shape. The Rock's in great shape. Cena obviously on this new path. Cody's gonna be looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm outnumbered, Rock. I don't got the numbers. People are busy. They can't do shit. But there's one guy I haven't called yet. There's one card I haven't turned in yet. Who's offered to be there for me. He said if I need a hand, well, I'm extending my hand. I'd fucking have Stone Cold show up before. If you want to make it even bigger, I know that the night of, that may be the thing they decide to go with, but mark my words now, I predicted Cena was going to be the one to turn. Stone Cold Steve Austin will be at WrestleMania and will be involved in this.
When you made that prediction about Cena turning, did you believe it?
Yeah.
Like, truly believe it?
No one else, the only other person that made sense was Drew.
Like, okay. Like, you're right. What I meant was, how did you envision
I had
the
no
heel
fucking
turn
clue.
happening?
I had no clue. I did not know how that was going to go.
That's what I was saying earlier. It's like,
I didn't know.
You predicted it, and I'm not taking anything away. You did.
I didn't lay it out how it was going to happen.
But
I just thought it was going to happen.
To actually see it, like how
still in shock.
How when you predicted that, how did you see it?
I thought maybe they would play it out a little longer, but again, Cena's not going to be around, so you've got to strike while the iron's hot, and while he's there, I imagined it would involve the 3 of them somehow, or something along those lines. But once Cena won the Chamber, that's when I knew, because he's sticking around, and Cody's coming out, and they still haven't done the Rock segment yet. If they would have taken care of Cody and the Rock earlier, before the Chamber,
which was rumored, but now looking back, didn't make any sense.
Yeah, they're not gonna have Cena come out again. Like he's make it special. It's
like
one
even
time.
if they would have did the whole okay, Rock comes out, Cody says no, and then and then you do the mat, or then you do like the KO match, and then you do the Chamber, and then they come out again. It just didn't make sense.
It wouldn't make it. Cena would have still had to have come face to face with Cody. Probably at that point, Cody could have came back out.
Yeah.
But then that means you're planning the angle for further down the road.
Correct.
You're not having it happen tonight. They wanted this to be a moment because they knew Cena was going to be gone for a few more weeks. So we wanted people to talk about it. We want Punk to cut his promo tomorrow night or Monday night. We want all this to go down. Friday, we want Cody's. We want the whole thing before Cena could even be back in the building.
I want to make one other thing clear, too. And this involves Triple H. And I know last week, and I still stand by what I said about Triple H as far as the mid-card. But the main event, Triple H has been striking gold. And this is even further proof. When you establish credibility with your fans, so here's the thing. The Rock said,
know your role.
Yeah, basically he said, know your role. He said, we're thinking 20 steps ahead. That does not mean that us and you as a fan can't react to what you're seeing as it plays out. What that means is that we react to what we see play out, and then when you receive new information, you could always go back and say, that's the science. That's what's happening. That's why it happened. That's what, like, we can now go back and say that weird promo from The Rock a couple weeks ago, back then, watching it, not good television. Now looking back, it was a complete setup. The Rock knew.
He was going to say no. He knew it.
Cody was going to say no.
That's not his thing. He's trying to. This is the. He's still trying to prove himself as the guy, and he can't afford to turn right now. And you mentioned before, like, they need him in that spot because who's the next guy? Braun's not ready yet. He's not on that level. Jay is on Raw and doing his own thing, and he will win probably the championship, but he's not on the level of Cody from a standpoint, I think, of being really ready and being kind of manufactured for that. Jay is a great story. He's more like a Kofi and less like a Cody, if that makes sense.
Pin that for next week.
Yeah.
Let me think about that analogy. Pin that for next week.
I mean, great story. Fans love him. Hottest person in the company right now is...
Because your analogy implies that the championship run, if Jay wins it, is cool, but number one, he's not winning the world title again. And number two, after this championship run is over, he's going back to the mid-card. It's going to stay there.
With a tag team.
Pin that for next week.
One other. Sorry.
I think too what's interesting, just thinking about this image and thinking about why all this is happening, right? And we're going to talk later about some of the other heel turns and what makes sense.
Tell me why.
Is this enough? So Cody Rhodes is, 39? I think he turns 40 this year.
Tell me why, Pete. Some people would say it's a mistake.
John Cena.
Tell me why.
John Cena is heel.
Never thought I'd hear you say.
John Cena is a bad guy.
I didn't want it that way.
The Rock, bad guy. Even if they go with your scenario, Stone Cold comes back for a moment.
What?
Is this angle enough to solidify Cody Rhodes to be the top babyface in WWE for the next 10 years?
Well.
And I put 10, and 10, you might slice that down to like 7 or 8 due to
5.
age.
Yeah.
But 10 years ago, 11 or 12, 10 years ago, and I heard Bully Ray talk about this with Roman Reigns. When it was time for Roman Reigns to get the key to the castle, pre-Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, Vince McMahon wanted Roman Reigns to be at the top for the next 10 years. And Bully Ray mentioned that he was told this by Vince McMahon back in 2016. And here we are in 2025. I know Roman's absent, but Roman
still at the top.
Is still the son.
Now, granted, he was a lot younger.
And that would be the only thing is that if Cody Rhodes was 35, then 10 years could be realistic. But 5, 6, 7, 8 years, is this angle enough to propel Cody Rhodes to becoming one of the greatest baby faces in pro wrestling history?
I think he's already on his way to that. I also think the days of guys like Roman, where it's predetermined you're being pushed, are done. You're going to have to earn it. And there's some guys where you just know. Like, we know Braun Breaker's going to be a main event, multiple-time world champion. We know probably Jacob Fatu is going to be a main event, multiple-time champion. Because of what they bring to the table, their persona, the way they carry themselves. Sometimes you can see it and know. We didn't necessarily know about Roman. In the Shield, we saw, honestly, a lot of people thought Ambrose was going to be the guy. Especially in the first year. Like, it was very much like he was the one talking, he was the one leading.
He was the one in the center.
And then when Seth did his thing, you saw what he could bring to the table, his work, everything too. You're like, okay, we could see Seth being one of those guys, and obviously he still is. Roman was kind of like he's the big muscle dude. He's the dude he's in the back. He's the one that's It's kind of just throwing the weight around, And they saw something in him. They saw the look, and they went for it. That's not going to happen anymore. Like, you could look like an Adam Cole. Or you could look like a Daniel Bryan or one of those guys. And as long as you're over as hell and you put the work in, Triple H is going to realize that. You can look like Ricky Starks, Saints. Still bullshit. And you could be put in that position. Ethan Page, all those guys. Look at AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
He had to fucking scrap and claw a little bit to get to that spot, even with WWE, with Vince in control, because, again, he had to fucking bulk up, get bigger. He's looked more jacked in his WWE career than he ever did anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, he had to get big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Vince was like, put some weight on, pal. Like, then we'll talk about you being in the main event. Like, it's some shit he probably would say to him. It's a different era, and this that's the last generation of it. Cody's one of those situations where he came back, huge name, great to see him here. The Pac thing helped a lot.
It did.
And
it
then
did.
And then he lost. He lost at WrestleMania. He did, and he was not supposed to be in that match last year. It was supposed to be Roman and Rock. That's how it was supposed to be, but the fans got him to that point, and they love the story.
Well, he lost at 39.
Yeah.
And then was not supposed to be in the match at 40.
Yeah. He was supposed to fight. The plan, I think, was to pivot to Seth.
Mm-hmm.
But people were just, because Punk got hurt, but people were just so enamored. I mean, it worked out in the end. I mean, that's how you're going to get these pushes. I don't know if you're ever going to see another person like Cena or like any of those guys for that long, 20-some years, because people's minds are going to change. And you're seeing now, too, with this, how these people running the company are. Yeah, we'll turn him heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, people want him heel. Enough people want him heel. Enough push for it. Let's figure something out. Let's get a 3-year plan in where we can turn him heel and we can do a full thing where he's going down this road, or her, or whoever. I mean,
the good thing about none of these guys being on Raw was I was worried. I'm like, man, we already got good enough material, and then it's like, oh, we're gonna have to advance the conversation. Well, we didn't because they weren't on the show. And Cena's not going to be on Raw, I believe, until the 17th.
yeah.
So next week on our show, we're going to talk about what Cena needs to say.
Well, Cody's going to have a chance. He's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow night. So we're going to hear from Cody.
Yep.
Then we're going to get a week to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we go.
Yeah.
That's the blitz of overseas where you're going to see Cena and Rock show up for, these Raw and SmackDowns, apparently. So, I mean, that's where Cena's going to burn through some of those 30-some appearances pretty quick. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe he won't fucking show up. Maybe they'll advertise him for it. And that card always says, subject to change.
Oh, boy.
And he's just...
Oh, boy.
I still think there is a slight chance we don't ever see him talk. Like, until maybe the go-home show to WrestleMania. Like, the Monday before. I think there's a very strong possibility.
You know what I
says
want?
Nothing.
You know what I want? I want JBL to come back and say that he was right.
I told you since the beginning.
2 things for next week, and then we got more for this show. 2 things. Number 1, what should his music be when he comes back?
They were saying Travis Scott's cutting it. I don't want that. I want the music he originally recorded.
Should it be, and this might be a poll question, should he keep the music that he has now? Should he go back to Thugonomics? Should it be whatever Cena was cutting up back in 2012, 2013, or whatever Cena might have created? Cena's probably created something now.
Maybe.
Or something produced by Travis Scott.
So I know you're big on the Thugonomics thing. That's a different heel version of John Cena. That was a cool heel version. And I think if you brought that back, too many people would be... If there's some sort of variation in there, it would be kind of cool. But this needs to be different. Or it needs to be what he was going to do in 2013 with the
I do not
thing.
Thugonomics would only work. I actually agree with you.
Okay.
Thugonomics would only work if John Cena was coming out in sports jerseys. He's not doing that. He's coming out in 3-piece suits.
I don't know if he is. Because The Rock said he's going to wear what he's going to wear. I don't know.
I think Cena's coming out. This is we'll talk about it next week. So
corporate Cena.
What So what music do you want from John Cena next week?
He shows up in a black and white like bandana, showing up like fucking Hogan,
and what do you want John Cena to say? How should his first promo will happen?
I don't know.
Like, what's the presentation?
I really don't know.
What's going to be that first? Because the March 17th, that Raw over, I think it's in Scotland. That Raw, he will be there.
So we think.
He's advertised.
Wouldn't it be funny if he showed up live via satellite from his movie set?
I thought they were going to do that this week.
No, he's not advertised. He was never advertised for these shows.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do that this week.
Mm-mm.
Live by satellite.
He's not showing up every week like that. Even if he was still good guy Cena, he wasn't going to be there every week because, again, 30 appearances, when you really think about it, a chunk of those are going to go towards the main shows, especially if they're kind of blending it together where he shows up at both. I mean, it's going to be some space in between, and now even more than ever. I mean, shit. I mean, there could be some lengthy time in between his appearances.
Again, later in the show, was this the greatest heel turn ever? Where does it rank? I want to also pin, too, you brought up Stone Cold. Stone Cold had a major heel turn 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cena needs to avoid what went wrong there. We'll talk about that coming up a little later in the show.
I can't wait to get my hands on you two bald frauds. Then you're going to make a wish I never did.
I think Pete will appreciate this. Somebody compared this feud, where it's at right now, to Peter Griffin and the Chicken.
Obviously, Seth the Chicken.
No matter where they're at,
Oh, my God.
no matter what they're doing, no matter what's happening in the world,
That's wild.
they are scrapping. They could have been at the State of the Union Tuesday night, and it didn't matter. They was throwing hands.
They might have been back there. You
They
never know.
probably was back there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, fuck
CM
me.
Punk.
Well,
Let's think about this. CM Punk, we all know about the pipe bomb promo, and to be honest, again, the pipe bomb, probably more historical significance of the pipe bomb. Laid it out. He really set the course for WWE in 2011 and beyond. But with that being said, the presentation of I trusted John Cena. I actually trusted that son of a bitch. I actually trusted, I didn't mind that he was given this spot.
Thought you earned it, yeah.
Thought you earned it.
Made sense.
Hustle, loyalty, respect. Cared about the kids. Cared about the children. Cared about everything. And you did this.
Turns out Punk was the good guy all along.
And then The Rock, another sellout. Remember what we said last week about Dwayne Johnson? Same deal.
There's going to be something down the road, probably with all three of them.
I don't know if we're going to get Punk Rock. Probably not. But we're for sure getting Punk Cena. For sure, that will be your SummerSlam main event. And the intensity, the presentation, everything. Like, about that entire segment, you pissed off that you lost out your opportunity in the main event, WrestleMania.
I don't know if you're going to have to wait till SummerSlam for that, by the way.
That's fine.
That could be Backlash, whoever that fucking show is going to be. It could be pretty quick.
You're pissed off about losing the opportunity at WrestleMania, main event. Not happening. Got screwed over. You stormed to the ring. Actually, just stormed to the announce table. You cut your State of the Union with conviction. That's what CM Punk brings, is conviction to the microphone. You watch CM Punk, he ain't playing a character. That's him. And then Seth Rollins comes out. Seth Rollins thought this was business as normal.
He starts dancing, he gets fucking jumped.
And I love CM Punk immediately. Beelines his way.
It's on site.
On site.
On
Beat
site.
down.
I'm going to whoop that ass.
Everything.
And the most normal-looking outfit Seth wore the past month.
Right.
Whoop that ass.
Everything.
He didn't look like an oven mitt tonight, so that was Monday night, so that was good.
Man.
It gets you excited. Obviously, Madison Square Garden is Monday, so that's a big show.
Steel cage.
There had to be something kind of gimmicky about that. I imagine Roman Reigns will be in attendance for Madison Square Garden show because you want your biggest stars at the biggest venue, so to speak.
And that's how he gets himself into this feud.
And that's how things get inserted, and that's how I'm cashing in my favor. I want both these ass clowns at WrestleMania, and I want to end it. Because I'm sure Roman will be there for Seth. He won't be there for Punk. He'll be there for Seth,
Mm-hmm.
and inadvertently cost CM Punk the match somehow, some way. And the rest is going to be buried in the annals of history
If you ever want to go back and say, like, man,
with no lose.
a steel cage match. Will you ever get a clean finish for a steel cage match?
Not in the annals of history.
Hell no.
That's never going to be clean.
No.
Never clean in the annals of history.
Never.
It's always
Will
shitty.
you ever get a clean finish of the steel cage? By the way, one of the dumbest things in a steel cage, you're battling. You just exit out of the front door.
Sometimes. They used to lock the door, which
It's
was
stupid.
when they actually locked the door, I pop. I'd be like, ooh, they gotta climb now.
If you really think about it, the concept of a steel cage match is pretty stupid. Because, you can always just walk out the front door and the match is over. You can always. It's always about the storyline of why you do a steel cage. It's this is a huge deal. Boom, boom, boom. But we really don't want to blow this thing off. Boom, boom, boom. Wink, wink, wink. Steel cage. Roman Reigns is going to somehow end up in this cage.
Yeah, sometimes it could be the end of the thing, but obviously when you know there's a bigger story with these three, specifically even just these two,
Mhm.
I mean, they could always, it could be just between them, and somehow Seth gets the better of Punk, and they have their trilogy at WrestleMania. Who the fuck knows what that match would be at that point? I don't know. I mean, and if that's the case, what the fuck's Roman doing? I mean, does Roman help Cody? I don't know.
I have a bigger question. Do people care what Roman's doing?
I think so. I think it'll be you can't have WrestleMania now. Whether people like to admit it or not, he's man admitted more than anybody else. He's more synonymous with that show than Hogan, than Rock, than Austin, any of those guys.
I understand the resume, and ultimately Roman is going to be on the show, is going to have a prominent part. Does anybody care about Roman Reigns right now? Right now. Does anybody care about Roman Reigns?
When he shows up, they'll care.
Okay.
I think if you're asking the general fan right now, they don't know what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like, and you just had this possibly one of the biggest angles of all time happen in front of him.
Yeah.
John Cena's on the front of everyone's brain, him and
Yeah.
Cody, and Rock included in that too. When Roman comes back, whenever that is, if it's Monday, whenever, he'll get a big piece of the attention pie, so to speak.
I think it's...
And he'll probably, if he talks, he's going to mention all this shit probably. So
We're going to break here in 2 seconds. I think it's very important for Raw on Monday that if you really want to hit home that this is one of the main events, like Punk Rollins Roman is one of the main events, Roman has to be the final image standing tall at the end of Monday Night Raw. He has to be. He has to, like to your point, when Roman Reigns shows up, he's back in the forefront. It's smart, right? You have your biggest angle. Don't bring Roman Reigns back like on Raw this past Monday.
No.
Let it rest, let it ride.
well, no, you
But
want a
it's-
big show, big event. Yeah.
But it's important. I cannot tell you how critical it is for Roman Reigns. He must be the last guy standing at the end of Monday Night Raw at Madison Square Garden.
And if he's not, it has to involve Punk too, to where there's a lot of confusion or something like, it has to add to making all of this mean something.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know Seth and Roman could be a match. We know Seth and Punk could be a match. Why should we give a fuck about the three of them fighting when technically Punk and Roman, though no love lost, don't really have a reason to fight each other right now. So it's not like Roman's champion. Punk doesn't need Roman for a match at Mania to make the match. Like he obviously has people that don't like him.
Mm-hmm.
He has Seth, he has Drew, he's all these, half the roster, kayfabe or not, doesn't like him.
Yeah.
So he could have a match at Mania. Why should Roman be included in this? Just because he's Roman? I mean, there's
Mhm.
got to be, add the layers to it. But we're talking about three, possibly the best storytellers in the business.
And Paul Heyman.
And Paul Heyman.
This is a bonus.
So four of the best storytellers in the
Yes.
business. One who actually physically just tells stories. The other ones that wrestle too. But I mean, yeah.
We're going to have a discussion, I feel, leading into WrestleMania. A heated discussion about what's your main event night one.
You got options.
I
Triple H said, I will put the best stories.
Mhm.
So we know Cena and Cody's main eventing night 2. Now.
100%.
Now it is. There's no doubt.
Yeah, there's no doubt that's Mania Sunday main event.
Face Cena versus Cody, they had some wiggle room with that. They've committed this angle. It's going to be the main event of night 2.
Correct.
Night 1's open.
Night 1 main event, to me, is very wide open.
You've got 4 or 5 matches that make sense in that spot. So, who knows?
All right, like we talked about before, coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you for putting Andre on there. That's nice.
I needed to do a little
underrated.
A little bit of
because Andre was always a babyface.
So
there's
move
Austin.
My microphone there.
Hey,
that's
your
Austin
big ass
events.
body. Short but wide, big ass body.
Listen. I've been putting up. I've been putting them up.
You've been powerlifting. The wide shoulders.
Man, I've been struggling. Oh my man. Let's not talk about.
You say struggling, I say strong boy.
Where does this rank? Greatest heel turn ever? Is it the greatest heel turn ever? Obviously, this is kind of a first take type of question of how would you evaluate something right now where it hasn't even stretched the surface.
All they did was the thing.
But they just
haven't
did
done
the
anything,
thing, but hey.
They haven't done anything after the thing. They just did the thing itself.
But let's talk about it in that discussion. I had to educate myself a little bit about Andre and Hogan.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. But is it the greatest heel turn ever? We'll talk about that. But coming up, another big event happened. Jade Cargill returned. She looked at Liv and then turned left and attacked Naomi. And Bianca Belair was screaming. Is Bianca Belair off the hook? She won the chamber. She's going to WrestleMania. She got what she wanted. Is she off the hook? Or is there more to this attack? Is there more to this? We're going to talk about that coming up. But first.
The way you do this. I swear to God.
Io Sky is the new women's champion. Is it the right or wrong call?
It's a call.
Rhea Ripley, weeks before Mania.
We're gonna see some crazy shit on Friday. I don't fucking know what's going on anymore. They're just like, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Just yeah. What? Are you sure?
Man, we got a lot to talk about coming up, and also we got some things in this cup.
We teased that last week,
but we're actually gonna do it this time. This is Mike's cup that he provided.
Yeah.
So Mike favored, and you're gonna hear
swag.
You're gonna hear from Megan Gallagher from Omega Video Marketing, and you'll hear from this man right now, Tom from BA Sweeties. Tom, do you know where everything is here in the store?
No.
Okay.
In a general idea, I do, but I can't tell you how many times my office is on the floor of the store,
right?
And my door is always open. All our managers' doors are always open if they're there. So if any customer has a question or whatever, if they can't find an employee, stock guy or whatever on the floor, they can just, hey, where's this at? So I can't tell you how many times a customer would come in and say, can you tell me where sugar-free candy is? And I'll say 12N. No, I say no. 12S.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And it says it's right down. Go down this way because you're in aisle 7 now. 5 more aisles or whatever. And then I'll think about it after they leave, and I'm like, oh man, I told them the wrong aisle. It's aisle 13.
What should fans who might be watching you here in Cleveland for the first time? Hey, they look you up on the website, on the app. They call you. What should they expect?
Yeah, I mean, first off, between me and my team, you're going to get one of us. If you want to deal directly with the man, you're more than welcome to. I don't mind. I love working with customers because I look at it this way. I have a lot of good life experience financially. I've said 12 years of banking. I've got now 2.5 years of insurance. I have a lot of money and just kind of life and financial stuff knowledge. So that's what I look to do, is to truly help people get from that point A to point B financially. It's not about just, saving money on auto insurance, sure, but if I can kind of turn that into a better discussion, really help people understand what actually insurance does, why it's important, because it's not a tangible. I joke when I leave that I lock the office door so no one steals all the insurance, but there's not just insurance laying around. So like there's just it's kind of a mystery kind of component in people's lives that they think is a scam and all the different things you hear. It's not. I mean, it can feel like it sometimes. I'm not even going to say that it doesn't, but if you understand how it works and understand and have a person who you can go to help with those kind of situations, that's what we're here to do. That's what my team's here to do. That's what I'm here to do. And that's what I take a lot of pride and have a lot of passion in, obviously, as you can probably tell. So,
well, I mean, I know you said the joke, hey, we lock the door so no one steals the insurance, but it's exactly right.
Small business owners are superheroes, but nowadays running your business means doing so inside your shop and on social media. That's why you should make Omega Video Marketing your sidekick. With a decade of content creation experience, I create dynamic, informative, and fun videos for your specific social needs that will increase brand awareness, get you more followers, and keep your social pages and websites current and fresh. I offer flexible pricing and turn times and will work with you to understand your brand and your story. All of that comes from the heart. My award-winning expertise is just the cherry on top. So let's get connected. After all, your brand is the alpha and my expertise is the omega.
Omega Video Mark. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I don't know. What is going on around here?
Double H's cheeks are red. Anyway, Omega Video Marketing is what he was going to say. Megan Gallagher, obviously.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You're fucking weird.
Go ahead, man.
Great at what she does. You guys saw it too. What she's able to do for your brand, whether you're just starting out as a business here in Northeast Ohio, or you got a little bit of traction behind you, but you're trying to figure out what's next. Megan has that experience. She's worked with businesses all across the region. Obviously, you reach out to her.
Yeah.
She obviously talked with us too. Email again for the folks at home.
MeganRG440@gmail.com. MeganRG440@gmail.com. And she'll also send out a questionnaire for you as well. A lot of detailed questions, a lot of stuff. We see it all the time, like the impact of social media.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a presence, whether it's for digital content creation, and or if you're a small business owner, you gotta get ahead of the game.
Or if you're thinking about Christmas, always gotta have presents.
Exactly. And if you want to get, man,
I know it's only March, but it's never too early to start.
Mike from State Farm, you can take this one.
Speaking of never being too early to start, never too early to kind of reevaluate your insurance situation, be it home, auto, life insurance, whatever the case may be. Mike has got you covered. Obviously, one of the best agents in Northeast Ohio, maybe one of the best agents State Farm has, period.
Yeah, he's really good. The State Farm team, of course, fantastic. His office here locally in Northeast Ohio, Cleveland Heights, on the corner of Lee and Mayfield. And we talked about it a ton, but it's worth mentioning every once in a while the importance of having quality life insurance. Is something that a lot of people don't think about until, unfortunately, maybe too late. Mike's going to take care of you. Have that discussion. Even want to just check out the website, myfavoriteagent.com. Have that discussion there for you with Mike. It's very important. He covers a lot of good stuff. And you won't even realize time is flying by. That's the cool thing with Mike. And
we talked to him the other day. Yeah, it goes by so fast. We were going to do a 10-minute meeting. We talked to him for a half hour over FaceTime. Just it's those kind of things where, and it's not like the conversation dragged. He has that personality, and it's one of those things where you just enjoy talking to an insurance agent. Yeah, I said that. You enjoy.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
Talking to an insurance
Yes.
agent. Also, he talked about Christmas. This is Christmas week for his employees, his staff. He buys everyone Bugattis. It's fantastic. So if you see a Bugatti on the east side of Cleveland, Lee and Mayfield over there, just know Mike did it. He rolls like that.
It is Mike Favored at myfavoriteagent.com. That's myfavorite, FABERT, agent.com. And you can also call him at 216-932-6900.
Do they still call them suicide doors, or do they call them unalive doors now?
I'm not sure.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know.
Maybach music.
Maybach music.
Ah!
The claims adjuster. He's a professional wrestler, too. Forgot to mention that part.
Yeah. The cherry on top, or the red singlet on top
Yeah.
of it all.
Let's see how he looks. 2 weeks. March 15th. We are in March now.
Dude, less. Shit. The
We
15th.
are in March.
We're 9 days away.
Yeah.
Week and a half. We get some change.
This month right now is
What
March 6th.
Is he going to show up? Is Mike going to be back? We know what the main event's going to be. Some matches are announced over on the social medias. Make sure to follow him, Exo Pro. But I mean, this is shaping up to be a pretty big show. A lot of stuff. A lot of table setting for the future of Exodus Pro Wrestling.
Real quick before we get back to the WWE stuff, NWA big news announced on Tuesday.
Jim Crockett Cup.
Yeah, the Crockett Cup is going to be at the old ECW Arena, featuring WWE's Natalya.
Yeah,
will be there. So
WWE couldn't find anything to do for us, so they decided to send her to NWA. No, but seriously, that's obviously huge, and it shows. We talked about the door kind of being open, so to speak, even with Mike.
Yeah, we talked about it on the call. You brought it up.
Yeah, like things are just kind of now opening up where you're seeing, obviously, unless your name is AEW, people are going to go to you. So, I mean, this is kind of a huge thing to have someone who's under contract who just re-signed to WWE go wrestle for the NWA. I mean, that's a big deal.
I mean, we're talking about like everyone in pro wrestling, because of that heel turn, because of everything that went, it trickles down.
Except for AEW.
Well, and that's why,
watching,
we don't need to beat it to death. But that's why we're hard on AEW. It's like, be good. Like, more eyes, and we see it on this show. We all see it as a couple. More eyes are on pro wrestling now than ever before. And, like, there's no reason why you can't be on your game right now. NWA is on their game right now, both here in Cleveland, where we're getting sold out shows every single month, Exodus, and across the board. A lot of good stuff. We didn't forget about the sour moment of the week. I don't know if you're a fan of this or not. I'm curious.
There's a bigger.
So
Bianca's involvement in all this.
Bianca's
with the
involvement.
Jade thing, yeah, it's still kind of murky to me. Are they going to just straight up roll with, Jade and Naomi? Is that going to be a thing? Or was it a warning shot to Bianca, like, I'm taking out your girl who covered for you? I think what really, it feels like they're both in the process of a turn. I don't think you can get away with Bianca.
Who's in the process of a turn? You said both.
Bianca and Naomi.
Okay.
Because it would be kind of wrong for Jade to do all of that and it only be Bianca. And Naomi had no idea. I feel like it was, and also it's Jade fucking Cargill. Like for everyone who has critiques about her, she's fucking yoked, dude. Like it's going to be hard to jump that girl.
Right.
Anywhere. In WWE, on the fucking street. I mean, I was enjoying what I was seeing, but that's beside the point. Like just pure strength. Like it's going to take a lot. That's what we said. Naomi? I don't know if she could do that by herself, man.
I know.
I don't know.
And we're going to talk more about that angle in 2 seconds. I just like. So
but
now,
how it affects this?
So now it ties in. So Bianca's at ringside. Saw the main event. She's at ringside. I know.
Does it make sense?
I'm a little iffy about labeling this as the sour moment of the week because this could turn out to be a lot of good stuff.
It was a shocking moment.
Right. And like Rhea
wonder.
and Bianca as a single one-on-one match at Mania made sense. But
also haven't seen it.
But go ahead.
Is it big enough to where they can make? I know you're not going to like this because you don't like multi-people matches.
Hate them.
I know you do.
Hate them.
But a fatal 4-way at Mania with Jade, Bianca, Rhea, and Io. Is that story between Bianca, Naomi, and Jade going to be big enough to blow into the Women's World Championship match? To put it in a spot where that story could main event night 1 because it now involves a championship too. I don't know.
And I don't know right now how you get there, but I'm not saying that as a bad thing.
7 weeks. I mean, we got time.
You got 7 weeks. I'm
and
saying that's a good thing.
And tell off both shows because
I don't know how you get there.
Characters involved in both. Technically, Bianca's a SmackDown superstar. Like there's hoops you have to jump through to get to it. But if it's just going to be Naomi and Jade, I honestly don't like that.
Pin that for like 30 seconds. I want to real quick talk about Rhea Ripley. Liv Morgan
Oh, sorry.
won the feud. The Liv Morgan Revenge Tour is over.
She's still a champion.
Liv Morgan took everything away from Rhea Ripley.
Oh, it was a success after she won the women's championship.
That was part of it.
Yeah.
That was a major part of it.
Yeah.
But this is the conclusion.
Mhm.
This is now, Rhea Ripley was overconfident. She thought, Io Sky, that's cool, but yeah, you see that? You see her interview with Jackie Redmond after the show?
She was a little upset.
She is
Mommy needs daddy.
completely scrambled. She had a family.
Buddy's like, oi.
She had a family. She had a man. She had a championship.
She had a man.
Loose,
Loosely.
she had a toy. She lost it all. Maybe she'll get it back at Christmas. No, I'm kidding. I'm messing with it. But it was all bad.
It was just a dream.
It was just a dream. This is interesting now for Rhea Ripley. Now this is a dynamic of her character that we have not seen on the main roster.
Is she my concern with this now is that she fall into the Becky Lynch thing, where she was so over and so pushed that there isn't really somebody that makes sense. That's why they tried. I think with Io with this, they try to show that Rhea was not invincible. She could beat herself. She could get beat.
And they played into the whole angle of,
And she's never beat Io.
never NXT, and then even the
Okay.
Mae Young Classic. They played into the angle.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like even in real pro sports, you can be a dominant team, but it's that one team that you could never beat.
Right. So, I mean, they have an avenue there. I do think at the bar minimum, you're going to get a triple threat match at Mania. Like, Rhea has to be involved in this because if she's not, there's nothing.
Commentary did a good job, by the way. The spot behind Kyle, where technically the match should have been thrown out.
I was missing half that, and I'm glad I found it.
Yeah, technically that match should have been thrown out. But the commentary mentioned that hey,
Referee's discretion.
mhm,
In a championship match, usually, and this goes for any promotion, there's more leeway. So you allow a little bit more because you don't want to, obviously. Though they had a story that they could have screwed Io over again, and she had a gripe to get into that match at Mania.
right.
That almost would have made more sense
Mhm.
than just flat out giving her the title. But then
Yeah.
if they do that, you also know Io's taking the pin probably at Mania. So it's like, I don't know, fucking.
So that brings us to this here. So you got the attack.
This looks like a BDSM commercial. But you know what? Honestly, I'm not terribly mad at it.
City.
Hey, easy now.
Hey, listen.
Careful
Great.
with me on the podcast. You can't say shit like that.
Great movie. Go ahead. Thoughts?
You can't say Chocolate City then have me have thoughts about this.
Man,
That's-
listen.
But I like my job.
I like what I'm seeing. Great story.
There's so much chocolate.
Great story.
At BA Sweeties.
Great chocolate.
Let me
BA
finish.
Sweeties.
Let me finish. Let me cook. Yeah.
Well cooked. Well cooked.
Yeah.
Well cooked.
Oh, spin that wooden spoon, baby.
Oh, boy.
Throw that sumbitch.
So the first thing I thought of when this beatdown happened, and you kind of brought it up a couple minutes ago, ain't no way Naomi did that to Jade.
I get we're in an era where Naomi's being booked as a top star on the women's division, but even then,
Ain't no way.
I don't know about that.
Now, was she sent by Bianca?
I think Morgan Wallen. She had some help.
So if we did, if one of the
The
angles,
Post Malone and Morgan Wallen of WWE, folks. Bianca Belair and Naomi.
so if the angle of this, hey, we're gonna do like a fingerprint, lie detector or whatnot. If you did like a fingerprint, maybe Naomi's fingerprints on this.
If Nick Aldis comes out on SmackDown and says, "We found fingerprints at the scene," not at that one, yeah, dude, I may turn off the fucking show at that point. Don't fingerprint me. Like,
So-
there's fucking video. They film everything. If I can watch Kevin Owens kick the shit out of Cody Rhodes next to his tour bus from
So
a
we
fan
finally-
video, you can film who fucking pushed Jade into a car. All right,
So here's why this.
respectfully eat a dick if that's what's gonna happen.
So the angle itself was fantastic in terms of if you see what they did with this chamber, you almost have to go back and like rewatch certain things, right? So if you rewatch the attack itself, remember the camera initially zoomed in on Liv, so we didn't see this live, but Naomi
Took off her coat.
Or Bianca took off her
Or
coat.
Bianca did, yeah.
What she did. And Naomi, when the music hit, looked at Belair.
Yeah.
They did not shoot that live on the live feed. So there's that question.
Just saying.
And Bianca Belair just watched her best friend supposedly attack her other best friend, stayed in this match, won the match, thought for a second about, maybe I should go to the back. Nah, I'm celebrating this championship.
She didn't
And
hurry to
then
the
on
door.
Monday-
She watched the door close.
And then on Monday, she's at ringside doing all this with
Showing
that
off
jacket,
all that ass.
showing off.
Yeah, because
Showing off.
some heel shit.
And
Cheeks come out, you're a heel.
And there were some looks that we may revisit that she was aiming towards EO Sky. So maybe EO Sky is part of a bigger plan, getting the champion. I don't know. Remember what we say, the rules of the Triple H WWE is assume everything even if it means nothing.
Yeah.
That is the blueprint of Triple H WWE.
Well, she was cheering on EO Sky because I think the heel Bianca would rather face EO than Rhea because she knows EO's easier to deal with.
Like, we didn't even talk about with Cena. We had the image of him using the brass knuckles. There's meaning behind that. We just didn't talk about it.
Well, it was the watch, but yeah.
But in the watch,
Michael Cole.
like, there's meaning behind.
He's got brass knucks. That's a watch, Cole, you dumbass. Thanks, Pat.
There's meaning to everything. So look, Bianca's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow.
Jade is going to be on SmackDown.
This is a big moment for Jade, too, because for the last year or so, she's teamed up with Bianca, and now she has to deliver on the microphone.
Did you see the promo? The video package they put out for her? For Jade?
I watched a little. I did not watch the full thing.
I had chills.
Did she talk in the video?
Yeah. It's pre-produced, so
That's fine.
she's getting the Sasha Banks treatment, but
They better air it on SmackDown.
I think she'll be there at
Okay.
SmackDown. But it was a thing to tease her, like, showing
The
up.
show's 3 hours. They could air the package.
They
and
could at
then-
the beginning,
and
but
then
yeah, no, it
bring
was
her out.
about, like, the wolves and, like, everything like that. And the women's, like, it was great. Like, watch it. Like, it was... Don't expect an answer at SmackDown because it's long game.
Mm-hmm.
But the seeds have been planted even more, and they've grown a little bit, that this is a team effort to take out someone who's just physically dominant. I mean, Jade, whether you think she can wrestle or not, I do think she can whoop your ass.
And
Like-
that's the point that she proved. Like, no
Yeah.
matter what,
Naomi-
you're going to be able to book this match. to
Naomi's a
where-
better wrestler. Naomi's obviously trained more. She's been down the road. Her family, everyone's been involved. Jade can just whoop your ass. Sorry.
And
It's the China effect. She may not be
Well-
the best wrestler, but she'll kick the shit out of you
and then
because
to
look
go,
at her.
And then to go back to your previous question, how does this all play out with Bianca in the WrestleMania Women's Championship match?
Yeah.
Where that goes, how everyone's kind of tied it. There's so much. There's a lot of puzzle pieces that are disconnected right now, and somehow, some way, they're going to all come together.
The female bloodline.
Why not?
Bianca's the Roman Reigns of the group.
You know what? Honestly, why not?
And Nia's in the group as the enforcer.
You lost me. I'm kidding.
She has to be. She's technically part of the bloodline.
No, honestly, not a bad idea.
I don't
You
know.
need a women's group that, especially if you're going to get a decent number of call-ups from NXT at the WrestleMania, you need a group. You need a group that people just hate. Like some of the people you see on this screen right now. All of a sudden, you don't like The Rock, or you haven't liked The Rock. He's been sucking up. John Cena. Man, look at John Cena. Man. And then it was Hulk Hogan, the late, great Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, and then Diesel,
Not there he wasn't.
Kevin Nash.
Don't give him the WWE nicknames in WCW.
Well,
Disrespectful. Use their real names.
Well, in the courtroom, that's true too. And I had to do some studying on Andre and Hulk Hogan.
Andre was one of the most over baby faces ever. People loved him.
Mm-hmm.
And it took a lot. And it was towards the end. But yeah.
But towards the end, that's the key with this turn and this turn. Hogan in 96 was on the back half of his full-time prime career.
But his thing was more about a revival to extend his career. This Cena thing is more about we're doing this because I never got the chance to, and after this year, I'm done. Hogan wrestled through the mid-2000s. He kept going long after Hollywood Hogan made his turn.
Stuck up the joint.
I still think that the Hogan turn is the biggest ever because of not only just the moment itself, but
The NWO.
NWO was possibly the most overact ever in pro wrestling, period. As far as reaction, merch, people watching the show, interest. Watching pro wrestling in the mid to late 90s was necessary on the levels of like the NFL, regular pop culture. When everyone references professional wrestling, they reference that time for a reason. I think the moment itself in WWE linear history for Cena turning will be bigger. But as far as the industry and what it meant in the moment and what it meant for the years after, merch sales and just the overarching business of what it did, Hogan's turn is easily the biggest ever.
So our older fans might challenge us with Andre and Hogan.
Yeah.
Only because I believe the turn actually happened on NBC. It happened on the first main event show.
Huge turn, huge moment, and obviously led to Hogan Andre. But that again was a one-off. Andre can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like he physically can't. Unfortunately he passed fairly recently after all that was done. He had to stop. He couldn't travel, couldn't do it anymore. Other two situations, and I don't throw Austin into this because Austin's turn was terrible, but like it was a shocker. It was shocking, but they botched it.
Well,
like
let's think about this too with the NWO's turn, with Hogan's turn. At that time, WWE and WCW, WCW was winning shows on the Monday Night Wars,
but it wasn't really a war at that point.
It
kind of felt like, okay, it's still WWE.
Yeah.
What's going to put them over the top and let them win, as Eric Bischoff will never let you forget, 83 weeks in a row.
83 weeks.
Hell, it's the name of his fucking show. Love you, Eric. But, yeah.
I think the one thing you might be able to debate here with Cena and Rock is John Cena a bigger mainstream star right now than Hulk Hogan in 1996?
No.
Pete, I want to go to the non-wrestling fan for this one. How big of a star was Hulk Hogan in 1996? Yes.
Was he recognizable? That's one thing.
Yeah, he's very recognizable, but in 96.
That's all it is. When I see your picture, do I know who you are? People, we're comparing a Granny Smith apple to a red apple. They're both fucking apples.
Oh, that's the whole point of this entire ridiculous sports talk argument here.
Yeah.
I think Hogan was more recognizable just because of his appearance.
Mm-hmm.
80s Hogan, it was almost like you found more people who knew Hogan than you didn't.
And that's the thing. I think
he was everywhere. He was on all the shit.
Because Hogan in his prime was more well known than John Cena in his prime.
Yep.
That's
which again
you can't dispute that.
We're not taking a shot at Cena by saying that. It's just
no,
true.
that's just true.
It's not saying Cena wasn't over as hell and everyone knows
Hulk
who John
Hogan
Cena
in the
is.
80s.
Oh God.
Couldn't touch.
He changed everything.
John Cena in the 2000s made a cultural impact.
He did.
But and I think that's going to be the thing here. So I think in terms of how this all played out, I mean, here's the thing. The NWO heel turn, they gave you the turn and the promo that night.
He talked.
And you had, and you can't throw stuff in the ring anymore. But
it was a grander thing about that was years afterwards too. They built this whole thing around this group that was so dominant and so over for 3-4 years after that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we know with Cena, he may not finish the year as a heel, So, I mean, this is going to be either a short window thing or he's only going to have 8-9 months with this run and it's over.
And the other thing, too, WWE didn't need this, right? They didn't need John Cena to turn heel. WWE was just fine. They didn't need the... You want to just read what Pete just sent?
So John Cena on The Rock, silent but deadly. You can't see it, but you can smell it.
Real quick, why did the Stone Cold heel turn in 01? I think there's a multitude of reasons why it didn't work, but why did it just, like, bomb? It just bombed.
Because he was already the anti-hero. So, literally going against everything that he had stood for, but people didn't want it.
Mhm.
There was no beckoning. We need Steve Austin as a heel. Like, we're tired of this. Nobody was tired of that because Steve was himself. Like, he was...
And I'll give you one other reason, too, and then we'll move on. I'll give you one other reason because you're 100% spot on.
Yeah, no one want to see that shit.
The Rock had to immediately film, I think it was Scorpion King.
He was gone.
He was gone.
Yeah.
You didn't have any equal to Stone Cold. Like, you needed Rock
And
there.
Triple H wasn't going to do that.
And Triple H was the number one heel at that point.
Yeah.
And, like, The Undertaker and Kane didn't stand a chance.
Nope.
Hogan and Andre, same level. NWO, they're invading an entire company.
That
And
was
you
the
had-
story, yeah.
and you had guys like, until they joined and they effed it up, you had guys like Randy Savage and Sting, DDP, many others who was willing to take down the NWO. And then they effed it up. John Cena, he has an equal. His name's Cody Rhodes.
Current guy that is Cena, right? White meat babyface.
Mhm.
He's used it.
He is Cena.
That's what he is.
John
He's
Cena.
2025 Cena.
2025 Cena is fighting 2013 John Cena right now. That's the goal of this entire feud.
I told you earlier, you had to have someone that was on that level for Cena to work. He couldn't turn heel on, hell, even Roman or any of those guys, because Roman's still the same guy. He's still a heel.
Still that guy.
He's still a fucking prick. He
Mhm.
hasn't changed at all. Jay's not on that level, and I don't think he's ever going to be at that level, unfortunately. I mean,
Do not let me forget about that topic for next week on Jey Uso.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, I'm going to write it. We'll go back. We're going to write it down.
Now what?
Ass.
Yeah, there was a lot in the Elimination Chamber. We talked about that.
Man, listen.
That was the all booty
Listen.
Elimination Chamber
Match
for the women.
of the year.
My God.
Match of the year.
Even the girl that wasn't even in the match.
Match of the
Oh,
effing
holy
year.
shit. Talk about Mount Rushmores. Can we add a few more heads to that? Holy shit.
Man. All right. We got some stuff here.
We're going to pick out of the Mike favorite.
Pick out of the cup. We
Right.
got 30 seconds. So
Should I time this again? Because last time we tend to go a little over.
no, we don't. Never. Never. Executive producer agrees. Never. Yeah, never.
The fucking Pete Holmes Batman. Swear to me.
Remember to follow us on our social media channels. And
What an interesting time to plug our socials before we're done with the show.
I was trying to fill time.
I was ready.
Okay, all right, let's go.
It's a fucking timer.
All right, here we go.
What do you get first here?
First one. So now what is basically we're previewing now what, for these guys. So my first one, AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Man, great matchup for Logan Paul. I was a bit worried about Logan Paul facing a Punk or a John Cena. This is good. AJ Styles right on his level with Logan Paul. And you're gonna get a good wrestling match. AJ Styles is a great guy to put in a match against Logan Paul. And I think
Who goes over?
I have no problem with Logan going over.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem. But we'll see how it all plays out. And there's more with AJ Styles' future with this as well.
Your time is up. My time is now.
You can't see.
Nope.
Nobody can see John Cena. He ain't coming to your city.
Nope. He's somewhere in Africa. You can see him there. So I'm supposed to. Now what with Travis Scott's WrestleMania role? Boy, gee, I sure hope there's nothing after that. I hope he gets his ass kicked by Cody Rhodes in the back and he's done. Dude, stick to music. Like, and even then, no offense to Travis Scott, I don't really like his music anyway. It's all pitchy and weird, and I love hip hop, I love rap, but I'll listen to Kendrick before I listen to Travis Scott. I don't. I hope he has no WrestleMania role. I hope he shows up and performs because his song is the thing, and then he's done. But I know that's not going to happen because fuck me, right?
Somebody said Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny and Travis Scott. Only thing that makes sense. Anything else? No, not a fan. You're going to get all the good shit. I'm going to get the terrible stuff.
What's next for Sami Zayn?
Good fucking question.
I don't know.
The
Do
hospital.
you want to put? Well, what's immediately next is the hospital. After that, do you want to put him in a triple threat with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens? I don't think. I know who is next for Sami Zayn. Somebody who actually deserves somewhat of a good feud. I don't know if it's going to end up at WrestleMania or like the night before. Karrion Kross. I think Karrion Kross is a guy who could predict Sami Zayn's future.
When he's not the devil on AJ Styles' shoulder.
How about that?
Because, he's just dipping his toes in all the bullshit. I get the weirdest shit. Predict Judgment Day's new member. So they're gonna add a member because the only person who doesn't want to add one is Finn, and he's about to be probably gone. I still hold out hope
Okay.
for Braun Breaker to change the attitude of that group altogether. I'm losing faith in that day by day when he continues to beat the fuck out of all of them, but then again, you never know.
It's like a rehab effort.
You know what? I'm going to say fuck it. We talk about women's group, give me Becky Lynch. And I'm not going to explain why. I just want her to come back.
Give me Logan Paul in that group. I don't know.
Get me off the show. How many more?
Oh, man. We got a few more of these.
Yeah.
I wish you would have had this, but I actually have something for this. Say something nice about AEW.
Your turn to drink.
You know what? I'm very impressed with the Swerve and Ricochet feud.
No, man, you're one of one.
Look, Ricochet's putting in he's very annoying, but putting in his best work. And
Which isn't saying much.
Prince Nana might be one of the best managers in pro wrestling right now.
Nah.
He has made a robe a big deal, and he has found a way to turn Swerve into a likable babyface, something that they need in AEW, and probably what's next in a championship feud against Jon Moxley.
Well, the 10s and 20s of people agree.
That's right.
There you go. All right.
Add a 1.
Jey Uso versus Gunther. How about that? You're going to see more of Gunther being a bully to who Mr. Double A over here thought was going to be the next Dusty Rhodes.
I almost tweeted that during the live.
But he gets a good reaction, Kyle. No. So Jay looks even stronger and better than everyone else now, which is good. He's really being built up well, despite Gunther doing the same old tired shtick. Talk about someone needing a break and a refresh. Gunther needs that. Can't wait for Jay to win the title of WrestleMania. It's going to be fun.
He just had a break.
We were on a break.
He just had a break.
Listen, Rachel. Don't Ross me.
Oh, again? Oh, my God. We kind of talked about this before. We'll time it. Rhea Ripley.
What's next for Rhea Bloody Ripley?
Well, she's no longer Rhea Bloody Ripley. She has to find herself. She has to find herself from within. She doesn't have help anymore. She lost her family. Her brother, or partner, Damian Priest, is on SmackDown now.
Where's Dr. Shelby?
Rhea Ripley needs Dr. Shelby. Rhea Ripley needs counsel. She needs some help right now.
Does she need a wise man?
She needs somebody. I don't know who,
That could be a thing.
but she needs somebody.
Heel Rhea Ripley?
I don't want heel Rhea Ripley right now.
More cheeks.
I understand. Okay.
Just saying.
Oh, boy.
Speaking of cheeks, Tiffy and Charlotte.
Well, only one side of that card has it, but go ahead.
Don't body shame Tiffany Stratton like
no,
that.
I won't. I'm sorry.
They need some fucking help. Talk about Morgan Wallen and Post Malone. I am less interested in this match day by day. The obvious worst match at Elimination Chamber was that one. I don't have a lot of interest in this, unfortunately. And I think Charlotte's probably going to win just so she can now rival apparently John Cena for the who's going to break Ric Flair's record quicker.
We talked about it before with Tiffany. Tiffany, she's going to be the one if she can't deliver from a babyface standpoint, that's it.
Yeah.
Forget about it. All right. Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. As we talked about earlier in the show, he needs to stand tall. If you want to sell this leftover pot roast triple threat match, he needs to be the one that stands tall at the end of Monday Night Raw. Roman got lost in the shuffle a year ago in the build to WrestleMania.
Shocker. He's
With Rock and Seth Rollins and Cody. Roman has to deliver when it counts, when it matters, and it starts this Monday. I think he will deliver in some way, shape, or form.
I also love you referring to CM Punk as the leftover pot roast of the WrestleMania thing. I can't wait to have him on at some point and remind him that you said that.
That match, yes.
This actually, you talked about trading me for this, but Pat McAfee versus Canada. I didn't really care. I mean, I thought it was interesting because people were like bringing it up that they should fire Pat McAfee on like, but this is on like regular news networks now too. That he should be fired from ESPN for saying Canada sucks. Like, get your political shit out. It's professional wrestling. It is predetermined. And if you're booing the United States of America during the anthem, an American commentator can tell you your country sucks. It's part of what they do is tell a story. So eat a dick. Not Canada, but the people saying that Pat should get fired. Canada's nice. I like Canada. But fuck those people. Fuck you, Keith Olbermann. There you go. All right. There's my controversial statement of the week. You can ask me to get fired, too. The problem is I don't have a job where you can fire me. So promptly, again, see 3 seconds ago when I told you to eat a dick.
You want to tell that to Randy Orton?
No, but I think you want to say something to Randy Orton, don't you?
I do, but not that. Randy Orton versus KO, which is happening. It's going to happen. And this might be, according to my barbershop, this is phase 1 of Randy Orton's heel turn. No.
This could be Randy Orton's face turn because Cena's the heel now.
Well, listen, I think I wasn't overly impressed with KO and Sammy with the stipulation. It was weird. It was odd. But here we go. Randy Orton is back. He's here. 2 natural-born killers, basically, about to face each other at WrestleMania. Should be fun hearing both of these fathers talk about destroying each other and their families.
I get the last one. And I think God damn it, I know what this is going to be. Chad Gable's quest. What's in the shiny box, Chad? Do you have a mini son? Who fucking knows? I'll tell you what it is. It's a mask. Guess who's wrestling on Evolve next Wednesday? It's Chad fucking... it's Chadrick Gableson, the newest wrestler from Mexico who is making a wave on the Evolve scene. God. Fuck this stupid shit. You had it. You lost it. He could have been so good. You have fucking Alpha or American Made, whatever the fuck their name is, losing every week. What a bunch of shit. Everyone's doomed to the fucking mid-card now, which, as Double A pointed out last week, is kind of trash. So this is fantastic. But we say nothing bad about WWE either, right? So,
That's right.
now what? The good stuff.
Going to be sweeties. And talk about Jacob Fatu. Who, again, every week after week after week, putting in great work. Are you looking forward to Jacob Fatu versus Solo?
No.
I'm not really either, but
that's also because of Solo.
Yeah.
We never got the I Hate You Solo. I'm still waiting for that. It's coming, and when it does, it's going to hit you like a John Cena heel turn.
Interstate 480 to Ridge Road exit. Make a left on Brook Park Road. You'll see BA Sweeties. Mike from State Farm, Mike Favored, myfavoritagent.com. That's how you can reach him. And again, MeganRG440@gmail.com. That's how you can reach Megan Gallagher for Omega Video Marketing. And remember, Facebook, Side Hustle. It's like I didn't expect the slide to come.
Yeah,
Side Hustle.
You put in a cool graphic and everything, a little transition, and you didn't know.
Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast with Double A and Kyle, or AA and Kyle for our audio audience.
His name goes first because he's more important.
That's right. On Facebook.
I have no problem with that. He's 100% right.
At Side Hustle Podcast 216 on YouTube. At Side Hustle Pod 216 on the TikTok.
Because I didn't get the memo when I made the TikTok.
Nobody did.
So
At Side Hustle Podcast 216 at IG, and of course follow LPV Productions with Pete and everything going on all across the company.
follow it. Pete needs a new ceiling.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Check that out. So next week, we already got some topics for next week. So Roman is going to stand tall on Monday, right?
He may sit down in the chair. I don't know what his locker room looks like. Cody took it, so let's see what happens.
Is Jey Uso now stuck in my head, and then watch me forget. I will not forget this. Is Jey Uso closer to Cody Rhodes or Kofi?
When it comes to a title reign. Hey, Kofi still had the title for 6 months,
He did.
but then he lost it in 5 seconds to Brock Lesnar.
And his championship reign was not that good.
No,
Not that good.
The Randy match was interesting because they had a story there in it, but other than that, yeah, it was a bunch of just.
We'll react to everything that happened on SmackDown. Of course, Cody's promos coming up tomorrow night, so we'll react to that. Any advancement with the Bianca story as well, we'll react to that. And we're going to talk about what do you want to hear from John Cena, because we imagine that on March 17th, that's going to be when John Cena is going to address a live crowd for the first time. So what do you want to hear from John Cena? So we already got half the rundown ready to go for next week.
I feel like at some point he's going to bring a kid out there,
He should.
and he's going to kick the kid in the dick.
Cena's first match, it won't happen.
This would be against a Make-A-Wish kid.
Should be against a Make-A-Wish. No. Cena's first match should be against R-Truth.
Oh. He still wouldn't be livid. How could my childhood idol do that to me like that, man?
R-Truth believes that heel turn was all AI generated.
Maybe it was. Who knows?
Maybe.
Were you there?
Did you really
Toronto?
Did you really see John Cena kick somebody in the nuts?
This is all a simulation anyway, right?
Ain't it? Ain't that the truth?
Fuck.
Loading.
Did you just loading screen the people?
Damn right.
I wanted the yeet glasses, but now I want loading glasses. Where you going?
We're done.
Oh, okay.